I can't believe I haven't found anything yet. There have been thousands of makers before me. You'd think one of them would have fiddled around with the soul before.
It feels like everyone and everything around me remembers where they've come from better than I do. But the only memory I'm concerned about is that of the storms. Where do they come from? And where do they go?
Honestly, I'm trying to make more friends. Some I can only hear. But they'll be here soon enough. After all, that's what summoning's for, isn't it? I'd love it if you could be my friend too.
The thing is, I can't help but wonder. Without all of those pieces, even just one or two, who would you become? And the people for whom those pieces are gone, who have lost the parts of themselves that magic has decreed one small piece of a whole, but what happens to them?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the premiere of Fraying Threads, an Invisible Sun game using the system Invisible Sun created by Monty Cook Games. I am your game master, Mare. I use they, she pronouns, and before we get started and getting into the meat of things, all of my players are going to go around, say hey, hi, who they are playing, and their character's character sentence. Let's go clockwise. So we're going to start off with Kian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kian. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. And tonight I will be playing Aspen Thane, pronouns he, they, who is a connected gallant of the Order of Makers who walks with a secret companion.
Gilly.
Hello. My name is Gilly. I'm Look It's Gilly on the interwebs. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am playing Lace, whose pronouns are she, they. And Lace is a bizarre ardent of the Order of Weavers who splinters into fragments.
Victor.
Hello, my name is Victor. I use they and he pronouns, and I will be playing Ray, who uses he, him pronouns. And Ray is a bizarre ardent of the Order of Goetica who disgorges creatures.
You are my first player that has that forte. I can't wait to see how it goes out.
Oh, it's going to be so grand.
Big choices.
I know, right? And last but not least, we have Gena.
Hey, I'm Gena, she, her. I am playing Sophrona, who is an established ardent of the Order of the Vance, who is adored by the sea.
Super excited. You're also my first player with the Adored by the Sea as well, so and my first Vance in a streamed game. So I'm really excited. Anyway, as you see, our character art is right below me, and that's cycling through all of our amazing player characters. Our character art was created by Lynn of @GremlinArt on Twitter. If you put exclamation point in the chat, you can go look at all of the artists that do art on the channel. They are amazing. Also, before we get started, we do have a tip if you want to help support us in the amazing game that we are going to be running for y'all. If you put exclamation threads tip, that'll bring you to our pally. Not expected, but appreciated. That will get split between all of us. And last but not least, our game does have content warnings. The system itself has a lot of mature themes that may or may not be suitable for everyone. Your safety is extremely important, so if things get uncomfy for you, please step away. The cast is using safety tools before, during, and after every stream. But as I said, please step away if you need to. Specific content warnings for our game currently include manipulation and mild body horror. I have also, if you ever want to view those, you can also put exclamation thread CW in chat. Okay. Are we ready, everybody, to get started? Anything I am missing? All right. Like every Invisible Sun game, we start off with a card pull on the path of suns under the silver sun, the sun of beginnings and of creation. And boy, have I pulled a doozy for everybody this first card pull. To start off our game of this new campaign, I have pulled the Looming Shade. A value of 9 mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. Meanings: terror, doom, impending danger, unseen threats. Ghosts and spirits lurk everywhere. Most never interact with mortals. Some shades, however, prey upon mortals, looking to feast upon their fear, their flesh, or their very souls. The Looming Shade is almost certainly such a danger. It is terrifying, but it's not just idle fear. The threat is real. The best possible outcome you can hope for is that it's not a horror that appears now, but is yet to come, so perhaps you can prepare for it. But readying for the unseen is always difficult. Even forewarned, how do you expect the unexpected? Gray magic is enhanced and indigo is hindered when you cast spells. When y'all decided where we're going to start for this session, I was quite pleased. We are starting with a festival. You are all looking for information, and there just so happens to be a festival in Fartown, your district of Visley and magic, an odd happenstance as that going on in your little pocket dimension of a district in Saturnine. The upcoming festival is called the Festival of the Path, where the Path of Suns, what are magic, which is the path of suns that dictate all of the actuality, is given respect and reverence. It's your typical fair and festival. Food, rides, games, petting zoos. But all of you are here for a specific purpose. You are looking for a seer, a diviner, a Visley, someone who has completely mastered divination, magic, and indigo magic. As you get ready to go to the Tundra, the pet park where all of this is being held, where are you meeting? Are you meeting up at someone's house and walking over together? Are you meeting there? What is everyone's game plan as you all get started to head to what will likely be a very pleasant event?
I think Lace and Shard arrived slightly fashionably late because Lace needed to make sure that, everything was coordinated with Shard's outfit. For those who have not yet met Shard, Shard is my cat. A good baby for a given value of good and baby. But our outfits are coordinated, but not so coordinated that you're like, oh, that's weird. It's weird that they're wearing the same clothes, just the right amount.
Are you meeting at the pet park, the Tundra, or are you going to meet at someone's house and walk over together?
I think I don't think Lace lives close to anybody canonically, like especially next door to anybody, so I think Lace will meet everyone there, but that is not to say that they do not have plans to meet up and walk together.
Also, don't forget to dress warm. Fartown itself is always in this cool, lovely autumn, but the pet park, the Tundra, is always freaking cold, so make sure you bring your jackets.
Yeah.
And maybe an umbrella. You all smell storm in the air.
I think Sophrona would actually meet at Ray's house. I think she would want to walk together. I don't know. She doesn't really like going she doesn't like showing up at places by herself. It's just she's kind of gauche, and then people latch onto you when you get there, and it's like, no, I'm not here to see you. So I think she would want to meet with Ray first, and then they go together, if that's fine with, that makes sense to you.
Oh yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because Ray looks very unapproachable. Um, Ray is a large man. I think what I described when we were getting our art was like a brick shit house of a man who looks ready to fight like union breakers.
Yes.
And I'm very pleased with what I got.
It's perfect.
Ray's home, just to describe what Sophrona like arrives at, is a large tower with like a fishbowl on the top that is sinking into a bog.
Yep.
Like parts of his home are submerged, but that's fine. He can just swim through them. And he is very much one to play in the bog. And yeah, I think he's dressed like warmly in like a nice like big sweater. And just like his regular like suspenders, and I think he has like a long large like beach ball style umbrella. Like when you open it up, it's got like little like the alternating red, blues, and whites. And is Kian also gonna meet at Ray's home, or are they gonna show up at the tundra?
So Kian is my name, but Aspen, no, you're totally
It's session
fine.
1. We'll get there.
I appreciate that you remembered my name personally. Aspen is already at Tundra and has been for quite a while. Osmond, who is my capybara, my best bud, wanted to go a little bit early, get some time to sort of hang out by himself. And Aspen is sitting at one of the benches, has a notebook out, and seems to be writing in it, but is there when everybody else arrives because Aspen woke up early today to get there.
Your buddy Osmond is just chilling and relaxing in that very chill manner that capybaras do. Any other pets that have arrived at the pet park, whether they are strays or with owners, you know capybaras are like friends to every animal. And it is no different with Osmond. While you are writing in your notebook too, you are not alone, as you never are alone. You have a secret companion. And your friend, companion, Helia, is also there. For reference for everyone else, when I talk about Helia, Aspen is the only one that can see her. So, to her, she does not, to all of you, she does not exist. You cannot hear her, you cannot see her, interact whatsoever. So you can just ignore me about whatever she does, unless I say otherwise. But Aspen, your friend Helia, who is this very tall plant-like entity, probably close to between 6 and 7 feet. Her form is roughly in the shape of a humanoid. She has legs and arms and a torso of wrapping vines and leaves, and her head, just growing out of a thin neck, is a large sunflower. And she has been so excited. She has been back and forth, like looking at stalls and just like back and forth. And she's like, have you seen this, Aspen? And then just like back and forth all morning until whenever people cut there.
Aspen definitely takes time to look up fondly and watch Helia sort of running around, and definitely gets a little bit of joy at seeing her being able to explore all of this.
All right. Sophrona and Lace and everyone's names are everywhere. I'm sorry. Ray and Lace. when do y'all meet together? I know Lace and Ray are going together and going to meet everyone else there. Even though Lace is a little late.
No,
Sophrona and
Sophrona.
Ray.
Sophrona.
Ray and Sophrona, and then Lace goes later.
It's okay. Yeah, I think Lace arrives last and has the essence of having been hurried, even though there's no particular sign that she hurried in any way whatsoever. But is layered to the max, right? There's like scarves and jackets, and you can see peeking out from it the kind of for lack of a better term, shards and lines in kind of metallic colors. What's the weather like, by the way?
Cold.
Okay, so I think it
Very
probably
cloudy.
if it's cloudy, I think it's like the kind of winding lines on her face and available skin are in kind of a silvery color. Sorry, Treacle is singing the song of his people in the background. He has a lot of feelings about fashion. So it kind of like winds up and appears, but it's glowing almost not brightly, like she wouldn't light up a room, but it's noticeable that there is a glow.
I think Ray would be eager to go see Aspen and Lace. So as soon as like Sophrona's there, even though there's like weird shit like obviously happening behind him in his house, like you see the peak of like a rug inching across the thing before he like shuts the door, and it's just like, all right, let's go.
Sophrona will just gladly, like, she doesn't want to seem eager, but she is absolutely like, we're not wasting time here, like, yeah, sure, like, let's go. Yeah, it's not like unfriendly, but it's like very punctual, like giving this air of being punctual, at least, whether or not she is a whole lot. She has like a little like one of those little like muffs that she has like her hands tucked in, and like, yeah, and she has like this like a high collared, like a coat over her thing, high collared, but she's not wearing a hat, but she has like one of those little like fur band things to match her muffler. So I think she also has the weather in like her hair, because her hair has this like sort of ocean thing going on. It looks as if it might be trying to match the weather, so it looks a little frosty up there, because she's expecting it to be cold, so it looks a little frosty, but it's not blistering. But this is how we're going. We're gonna look cool.
And your little hair ship ornament is struggling a little bit, as if the waters are getting a little cold and frosty.
Yeah.
I think Ray does take time while Sophrona and him are walking to the thing to present Sophrona with a freaky little carving, like a freaky little clay carving that he made. It looks like a weird version, like a what if a pig had a giraffe's neck and like several like snouts.
Oh.
And it's just like, I made this beauty. I made one for each of you. This one came to me in a really interesting dream about bravery, and so I thought it would suit you.
Oh, that is delightful. She'll take it. Just hold it a little bit. Have you named it, or are you waiting for me to name it?
Oh, that's for you. It's completely yours.
It's delightful. I'll think about it. It needs... Can't be impulsive about this, She will put it in the muffler with her hands, actually, not in her pocket. She'll like hold it with her because it's so cute.
I love it.
Whoosh.
When we reach Aspen, like Ray does like the same little thing, but like Ray's like really excited to see Aspen. Like this large man is like bouncing a little. It's just like, we made it. It's the day. It's the day. We're gonna do the thing we planned, and now we're here.
We did indeed. Good morning, darlings. Lovely to see all of you. And Aspen is going to hold out their hand and take time to sort of sit and really study what Ray has gifted them.
Sorry, Kian,
and kind of
you ended up leaving the meats.
let me jump back in.
I'm sorry to
Well-
interrupt.
No, you're fine. Aspen is observing, so I'll take a second.
While Aspen is observing, Lace.
That's me. And Treacle. My shadow.
Your shard.
My shard. He would love that. Yes. I arrive and I feel like I've come up with an outfit that not only I know I'm harping on this, but it's because I want us to visualize the cat in a fake fur color, like cloak. Like, let's just picture the cat running with this cloak behind it. Like, and the fake fur of the collar matches Shard's fur, and it's real good.
Can it be like a half cape
Yeah. Oh yeah.
with a collar?
I don't know that Shard is especially happy about this either, if my experience with animals is anything to go
he was harping at you and be like, I don't want to wear this. Why are you giving me another fur coat when I already have a fur coat? I have my winter fur. Eventually he did relent. And as you get closer, he hops off your shoulder and makes a beeline for his BFF, Osmond, and just like jumps on his back. Makes the biscuits.
Yeah.
And there's just like a slow, hello, Shard from Osmond. Welcome back,
Yeah.
Aspen.
They're the odd couple, and I love that for them.
Lace makes it just in time for Ray to be describing the weird. It's like what if a bush had teeth? But also like several like arms, and they're like little spindly things, and he's just like, I had a dream about creativity and it gave me this, and so I made it for you.
Well, I would much rather you make it than it exist here. So,
This one's for Aspen.
Oh.
There you. Of course, I hope that this creature and Aspen will be very happy together.
Aspen is listening intently as you are explaining everything and is sort of twisting it around and like really giving it time. And just, this is absolutely lovely, Ray. Thank you so much for this gift. And speaks very slowly, but in a really intentional way. It is not insincere, just is very, very careful about the words that they choose.
Oh yeah, Ray is delighted, and then Ray turns to Lace and is like, "I had a very special one for you."
I'm alarmed.
Yeah. So if the audience hasn't picked it up yet, Ray makes very upsetting sculptures and is delighted by them and calls them his friends. And this one is like, what if a horse but backwards? So like, what if a horse but like upside down and backwards? Like, think about it like this. I don't know. In my head, it looks upsetting, but like looks interesting.
This like suspended animation horse, like
yeah. Like what if a horse, but like his legs drooped like that, and and it has like little it has a cat on its back stomach, and it's just like, this one's for you.
I really love the cat.
The other one, I thought it might help you visualize strangeness.
I definitely need more strangeness in my life, so I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like Lace genuinely like with permission will like clap Ray on the back and like give a hug if appropriate, and say it's beautiful. I know just where I'm going to put it, and then does not elaborate.
Ray believes you. Ray, why would Ray think you're gonna put it anywhere but a place of honor and beauty? Ray returns the hug.
Lace has definitely formed a room because we'll see where Lace lives eventually, probably. But there is, I have no doubt that there is a room somewhere that Lace has told Ray is the room of honor where all of the art goes. And it's like on shelves and it's beautifully lit by like the glass of the cliffside. The whole thing. Beautiful.
How big are these figurines?
I'd say they are like they fit in your palm, which is why they are very impressive because they have very intricate detail.
Your palm or their palms?
Ray's palms.
Okay.
So like a palm and a half.
This thing is taking up my entire muffler. Sabrina is tiny. She's a very, very small person. So when we're walking here, it's like, she is like 5 flat, like very small person. So
as someone who is 5 feet tall in real life, I would like to say that if I find something overwhelming, I immediately find the next tallest or strongest person to carry it for me, which I think is, I can't speak for you, but what Lace has done immediately is like, oh, it's so heavy.
I am also 5 feet in real life. So
you know my pain.
Short squads.
How tall is Kian and Mare? How tall are both of you?
Mare's
if you're okay with
5'3".
sharing.
Kian is also 5'3".
You two are the tallest people in this chat.
No.
I am 5'2", 5'2" and a half. If I'm feeling spicy.
God. We are so short.
This is amazing.
The smallest crew with the biggest emotions.
I love it. It's perfect.
That's incredible. I need us to do like a lineup now of us versus our characters, and it's just like
I'm gonna choose my tallest NPC.
Ray.
That's me with every single one of my NPCs. All of my NPCs are tall because they need to live that tall life since I cannot.
Mood.
Same.
Mood.
Ray is probably close to like 7 feet tall.
Yes.
So we're showing up like this.
Like a 2-foot difference.
So Ray is the ideal friend to be at a festival with because you will never lose Ray in a crowd.
No.
Ever.
Yeah. Who needs a Brazilian tour guide flag when you can have Ray?
How tall is Lace and Aspen? Because this is important for my mental imaging.
The immediate thing that popped into my head was 5'9". I'm not sure why.
All right.
But like, I feel like Lace is fairly tall. Usually I play short characters out of solidarity, but I feel like Lace is probably actually fairly tall. Although maybe she's been getting shorter for reasons. I guess. Let's go.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, given her forte, I guess it could be slightly negotiable, but I think she's fairly tall for.
Okay. And
Aspen is around 5'7".
Okay.
I also like my NPCs to live that tall life because I will never see the world from that perspective.
Perfect.
I love we're like 5'7" is tall. That's average.
Listen, 7 inches taller than you? That's tall.
It is.
But the 4 of you have convened and received beautiful gifts from Ray. While you were talking and looking at all your beautiful little trinkets, Shard and Osmond have started to get up and stretch their limbs. And with Shard still on Osmond's back, Shard looks right at you, Lace, I'm hosting a tic-tac-toe tournament with the pets. I will be back later.
That sounds wonderful. Lace is trying to be really encouraging for Shard to be social. So she kind of puts on like definitely a gentler tone than any of you see with Shard in like home life. But I think that's great. I'll see you later.
All right, let's go, Osmond. And Osmond kind of like nods and starts to amble off with your buddy Shard on his back.
Let's mosey.
They're moseying, exactly. The Helia is going around looking at everyone's trinkets, and then as the two pets are walking away, she gives like a wave. Not that they don't see.
I was gonna ask if the capybara knows.
Nope.
Helia's my little friend. Aspen just calls after. Osmond, please be careful, darling. Please don't get into any trouble. Just go straight home after. I'll probably be home late.
He doesn't do anything, but like you know he heard you. He's a really chill boy.
As this is happening, Aspen has a hat with lots of trinkets hanging from it because they like to draw attention and he likes to be seen. And as this is happening, he is trying to affix this sculpture to the interior of his hat so that everybody can see it. It's a little heavy, so he's kind of struggling, but he's doing his best.
I have to imagine you being tilted forward now.
The whole time, just kind of looking at everybody.
It changes your fundamental posture.
Listen, everyone should have a bush with teeth and weird arms coming out of it.
I think it's lovely, and I also think that everybody at the festival is going to comment on it and notice how beautiful it is, right?
Yes. Good. Then I can talk to my art manager about doing a showing.
You could. As you all have been talking, there have been people coming and going inside the festival. As you are all entering the tundra and I'm just going to call them the grounds because they're technically fairgrounds at this point. You do see a lot of stalls, people making food. There occasionally are little, not booths, but little stands with pamphlets and maps. So if you pick one up, there are a list of events, a list of vendors, people who are selling crafts and food, makers and non-makers alike, because not everyone that crafts is a maker, of course. And it's just a whole list of things. Did you want to look at it? Did you want to just mosey around and meander? What is your game plan? Because I know you're looking for someone specific.
Do we have, is that do we know the name of that person already, or do we just know that they're here?
You do. So, in the pamphlet is a list of events, and since this is the Festival of the Path, there's a bunch of things that relate to each sun. So the Silver Sun is creation, so there's a bunch of best pie recipe, best woodworking crafts, so on and so forth, that's going throughout the day. Green is life, so there's a lot of demonstrations on healing plants, the petting zoo. But the person you're looking for is the exhibition for the Indigo Sun, which is truth and knowledge and stuff. This individual is someone by the name of Rorak, diviner of the grand cosmos, seeker of knowledge, seer of the past, present, and future. And they are a well-known indigo specialist, so telling the future, gathering information, so on and so forth. And there are a couple other events related to the other suns, such as the Red Sun. There's going to be a combat demonstration with a demon against someone from the Goetic Order. For Gold, which is transformation and change, the Elderbryn, which are shapeshifters, are going to be doing a kind of demonstration and show. There will be a vigil representing the Pale Sun, the land of the dead later on, as well as just a bunch of people from the Confederacy of Cloisters, which is like the religious district, helping people come to terms that everyone dies. So they're handing out little pamphlets like tour guides of the Pale Sun, because you do need a visa to visit the Pale. And last but not least, the Gray Sun, which is the Sun of Lies, which you have all been to. Originally, if you saw this pamphlet earlier, like, this has been advertised for several weeks. There normally wasn't anyone in the gray spot because a lot of Vizsla have complicated emotions with being in shadow. But Aspen and Ray, you do recognize the name there. It looks like Charles Abernathy, a goetic and a friend of Aspen's, will be doing like a small talk to represent that. But the person you are looking for is Rorak, diviner of the grand cosmos, seeker of knowledge, and seer of the past, present, and future.
I think given that Aspen has been here all day, Blaze will ask them for, like, so have you seen anything interesting here?
Just been looking at trinkets and seeing if there's anything worth paying for or not paying for and acquiring anyway. There's a lot of really good vendors here today, and we also should definitely pay a visit to the petting zoo. I think that would be a worthwhile way to spend our time.
Do you think Shard would like the pet? Shard would get jealous, right?
Shard would get jealous.
We should do that earlier then, rather than later. And this whole shape-shifting thing sounds interesting too.
I have to go visit Charles while he's here. I definitely want to make a point to say hello. So, and I will look over at Ray.
Lace has no idea who that is, but doesn't want to admit it. So it's just like, of course, Charles. You've got to go see Charles.
Ray, for your reference, Charles is a third-degree goetic, and he's like middle-aged, so he's like 50-ish. But the best word to describe his relationship with the Order right now is retired. He just doesn't do anything with the Order anymore. He thinks that Saturnine is boring as fuck. Nice guy, though, if you've ever encountered him. He's just not interested in Vizsla shit anymore.
I mean, there's gotta be joy for everybody. Mine is in making friends. So of course, Charles. Is he still a good friend? I'd have to ask the songbird.
Is this out loud?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
It's like, who's the songbird then?
Yeah.
I wonder.
You haven't heard any whisperings of dislike towards Charles.
Then yeah, still a good friend.
Okay.
I was just going to ask, the pamphlet, does it say that there are specific times for things, or is everybody kind of here all day, or when they please?
Some of the things are specific times, so Charles is a specific time, as well as the combat, the Elder Bryn, there's also going to be an open forum representing the Invisible Sun with representatives from all the orders. Still unsure if any apostates are going to make it, but they have been invited. Just open forum discussion on how magic works and differs and such like that for anyone who wants to talk.
They're gonna argue about things.
Yeah. Basically. Politely
That would be a fun thing to take lunch to.
That's towards the end of the day, because the Invisible Sun's the last sun on the path, so.
Did Brenna have anything that has caught your eye that you'd like to do?
No. I am mostly just interested in getting this done. Actually, she doesn't admit this now. She does want to look at the plants, but she doesn't want to tell anybody she wants to look at the plants. But I'm letting you know that she is going to be looking for any opportunity to sneak away from the group to go look at some plants. I'm just letting you all know that, but she does not tell the rest of you that.
Well, I think, do we know that you like plants generally?
She does not. She's a thing about, I mean, this is really weird with all the plants in my background, but she does not, unless you've are a frequenter of the plant shops around, you probably do not know this because her home does not have any plants in it.
Okay.
And she has a weird thing about it. It's weird. I mean, that's her emotion. It's weird. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. So she's not going to tell you this, but she does want to go see the plants. But
Also, for reference, Rorak does have a booth, and it's more or less an all-day thing for him.
I feel like we should go take care of this first.
Yeah. Do we have Aspen, since you've been here all day, do you know if this diviner is very popular, or is it just...
It seems like people who are easily gullible are very, very excited about it, but there doesn't seem to be people with a specific plan. So the waves have come and gone. I suspect that we would be able to get an audience.
You've heard a lot of people talking about him. Have you actually went to go check out the booth?
No, I got distracted by the petting zoo.
Okay. Then you don't know how busy it is, but you have heard people talking about him.
Okay.
I think that's the first order then, yes? Because...
Yeah, and then we can all split up and then come back and do reports on how cool things were.
Sure.
For my reference, what time did y'all arrive?
Feel like, what time did it start?
I would say a 9 a.m.-ish open. Fairground opens?
Lace
11.
arrived at 11. I think 11 is valid in my mind. Maybe we were supposed to meet at 10:30.
Lace did get here a little later, so it's I think maybe Ray and I got here at 10:30.
You were there exactly on time. Aspen was there so early. Lace was late, which I feel like was a surprise to probably no one here.
Before you go off and enter our next quote-unquote scene, I'm going to pull the next card. On the green sun, I've pulled the fleeting moment. Value of 1, mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stone. Meanings, lost time, elusiveness, agility, and reaction. Time moves inexorably forward. Sometimes it moves so quickly that we lose track of it. We try to watch, we try to pay attention, and yet it's gone. Mercurially, it slips through our fingers. Time can move so rapidly, in fact, that we can lose time. Look at the clock, it's 6:22. Look again, seemingly a moment later, it's 8:05. ADHD life. They say that there was once an hour that came after midnight, but eventually it moved so quickly that it disappeared altogether. If that's true, perhaps it's the fate of all time, and the midnight hour will flit away next. Time is elusive and impossible to hold. No matter how hard you try, it is a force even the gods fear. Indigo magic is enhanced, and gray is hindered. So do y'all...
What was
literally the
enhanced?
opposite.
What was that, Kian?
What was the enhance?
Indigo. Do y'all wander off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
As you wander off to go look for Rorak's booth, it's listed on there. He has a little, his own booth, probably mid fairgrounds. It's kind of central, as long as it's not in the way of any amphitheaters, people doing shows or anything like that. And when you begin to approach, weaving through the crowds, the smell of food in the air just wafting throughout your nostrils, the sound of animals in the distance, and scent of flowers on the air. you do eventually get to a booth that is labeled Rorak, diviner of the grand cosmos, seeker of knowledge, seer of the past, present, and future. It has a blue top, a table with a sheet covering something, and it's completely empty. And there's a sign on it that says back at lunch. It's like 11:15.
I don't know if it's like the opposite of when people would show up.
I guess if this person thinks that people will be looking for stuff to do at lunch when other stuff isn't, it might be a genius thing. I don't know. Well, I guess we should do something else in the meantime then. We could go to the petting zoo.
Good.
Aspen absolutely perks up at that. Shall we?
Petting zoo. This is so early in the game for me to be planning to adopt pets. Here we go.
Mare,
Yes? Right?
I think on the way, Ray would like to create something to be pet.
You may do so. Please tell me what you do, what this looks like, what ability you are using.
So he is trying to do this like stealthily, because he knows that sometimes people can get upset with the pets that he brings to the park.
Yeah, I think
So-
we specifically said that your pets are a problem.
Yeah, they're lovely.
They're adorable.
They're adorable. So like while we're walking, like Ray is sort of just like, oh, I'm so cold, and like sticking his arms like up through his like sleeves and like having them like in front of his like stomach. And like anyone watching would be able to watch him sort of like get a little bit leaner. As under his shirt, he is literally digging out bits of his body to disgorge a creature.
So remove a physicality from your pool and spend the sorcery from your forte.
Yep.
And what appears?
So he wants it to be petable. So it can't be like his regular little shark friends, because those guys have sandpaper skin. That won't work.
No, they're totally smooth.
Smooth. I think
Yeah.
you'll find.
There's his have sandpaper skin.
No, sharks literally like one way is smooth
Oh,
and the other way is like sandpaper.
That's
No,
cool.
it's just the insistence that sharks are smooth is it's an internet meme.
Have you seen
Oh.
that meme?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
No.
it's incredible. I'll find
I was
it.
completely I was like,
Sorry.
actually, here's an interesting shark fact, because my ADHD hyperfocuses and okay, no. We're not.
We have a
No,
shark
so-
command. Because we do have a nautical game on the channel. Anyway, sorry, back to your little creature.
No, yeah. So instead it is like a furry shark. Like it's got like a clear little shark head, and then little like long fins that like act like legs, and then all around like its torso is like some like white and navy fur. And then like stopping like right at the tail, it's just got like a little shark tail. And it's maybe like the size of like my forearm. And he's just like holding it like in it like against his belly for now.
Under your
And
clothes?
under his clothes.
Okay.
You gotta be stealthy.
Do you want to roll to see how stealthy you're able to be?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to roll a movement related task. So you can spend 1 bene from your pool if you would like. I will
Alright.
say that this is a difficulty 4 to hide it from your party members, 3 from everyone else since you're moving. Are you spending a bene from your pool?
Yes.
Okay. So you can spend 1 bene from your movement pool, and you will roll a d10. And you need to at least get a 2 or 3 or higher, depending on who you're trying to fool.
I rolled a 2. So everyone else doesn't know that I have something under my shirt. But everyone in the party knows that Ray probably just made a weird fucking creature again.
What is it? What is it this time?
What?
She's gesturing like the...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just a peek. Just show us what it looks like.
There's a small little squeak betraying you.
Yeah. And Ray's like, fuck. 1 second. And he's like, huddle.
While they're huddling, can I try and sneak off to look at these plants?
You may. Roll me a movement task.
Okay, wait.
Are you going to use a movement bene?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, sure. I have a lot of them.
Okay.
I'll use one.
I'll say it's the same difficulty. What I just gave for Victor.
That is a 4 on the die.
Gone.
Okay. All right.
Ray's too focused on like trying to make sure that this thing is not seen yet.
Yeah, y'all huddle and you see this cute little furry shark. I think it's cute.
Oh yeah.
Lace is torn because it's really cute, but also a shark.
Sharks are perfect creatures. They have done nothing wrong.
Aspen squeals immediately.
Helia
Ray.
squeals with you in tandem.
May I please hold this lovely creature?
I don't know. This is what I think it looks like.
I love him.
What if a shark was a sheep? But like baby, like small.
We are asking so many important questions in this campaign.
If anyone who
already.
draws monsters and creatures want to just draw all these little entities and pets that we have.
Yeah, like Ray's like, all right, but like he deserves to be pet, so like I want to put him in the petting zoo, and like he's gonna hand over the little creature to Aspen.
Aspen cradles it, sort of how I imagine that it's probably a little smaller than Osmond, but it's how Aspen would cradle Osmond, and is going to sort of tilt to make sure that Helia can see the creature. Just in case she feels like it.
Oh, she does. Absolutely does. Childlike wonder.
Aspen kind of looks down at the creature and says, "Isn't this just the cutest thing?" And looks to Helia so that they know that Aspen is talking to her.
You two
being Helia.
You two see Aspen look off at something that just look off in a direction. But Helia's cooing at it, for lack of a better term.
Is it? It's very cute. Is it hungry? Should we get it a snack?
Oh, I mean, like, he's this little guy. He's like, you want to eat? You want to eat, buddy? And Ray's gonna like scooches like little fingy, like right against its snout.
Love nibbles. Sharp teeth, love nibbles.
I think you see that Ray's hands have a lot of these like little nibbles, like older like nibbles all around his hands that he doesn't mind. For him, it's like one of those like lizards that you like hang off your finger when they like bite because it doesn't hurt.
We're gonna have to be careful where we let that.
He's just a little like listen. If I tell him, "Hey, buddy," don't bite anyone else. He's gonna listen. He's a good buddy.
The
Oh,
teeth
GM,
just kind of the teeth
from my
just
experience,
shrink.
is this accurate?
Yes, because this is my little horror.
That's the fourth ability.
I disgorge a small creature of level 1. It moves slowly and is quite weak, but it does as I command.
Okay.
Its
good.
teeth shrink and it just gets like a really gummy mouth.
Yeah, see, look, he's fine, and we
Okay,
just
that
have to
is
feed him
pretty
applesauce now.
Lace will stick like a finger to give stretches.
While the three of you continue to the pet park, Sophrona, you sneak off, and you are able to head off in the general direction of where you see greenery and smell flowers. And a corner of the pet park has been converted into a small but traversable garden with raised beds and trellises of many different plants, some of which are familiar from Shadow and some wholly unfamiliar, such as the literal fire lilies that are gently burning and raining fire down its petals onto its stone home, so not to catch anything else on fire. A lot of people are huddling around those because it's cold. What would you like to do here?
She doesn't want to do anything like super complicated, but I think she's going to find the plants that are from Shadow, like, I presume they're maybe in a group together or something.
Probably, yeah.
She doesn't want to do anything complicated. She just wants to stand among them for a couple of minutes and just like take in the feeling of having the plants around and just bask, I guess.
Bask in the ambiance.
Yes. And then after a couple of minutes, just try and sneak out of that as well, with nobody seeing her.
So you trying to sneak back into the group?
Yes, try and sneak back into the group.
Okay. Are you trying to avoid people you know?
Yes. Anybody I recognize? I'm trying to avoid anybody I recognize.
Yeah.
And anybody, and then try and sneak back into the group, which I presume is like two separate things, but...
Yes. I want, while you are sneaking back, I want you to definitely roll me another movement sneaking task. One to avoid people. Well, it's going to be the same roll, but one to avoid people you know and to get back into the group. Ray, Lace, and Aspen, you come to the pet park, which is, the petting zoo, not the pet park. You're in the pet park. You see a bunch of creatures, many of which are not shadow related. You see some goats with 2 heads and deep, deep blue fur and red eyes with, the weird goat eyes that are horizontal rectangles. Love them. You see a couple of creatures that are just running around like little ferrets that are look like a 2-headed weasel that don't stop moving. They kind of like swarm your feet around a little bit, like weaving in between your legs. Something that looks like a floating metallic octopus with moth wings, and just a whole other variety of creatures.
Lace is like in love with these goats to start with.
I got an important question for you, Lace. You splinter into fragments. What are you made of? Are you made out of mineral, crystal, glass? This is very important.
Well, I think we should make the funnest choice possible here.
Are you salt? Is what I'm trying to get at.
What I think is interesting is I think that largely it seems to be like a metallic thing, but I think that in the sheen, I think it varies. And I think there could be at the moment, just salt crystals in her shoulder.
You're getting licked.
I mean, technically I should be mad about it, but I don't think Lace is mad about it.
They are licking you. Their breath is ice cold. and their saliva turns into frost.
Their hair matches my hair. I'm very happy. Like my shoulder starts to freeze. Like it like
It's fine.
it's fine.
Ray and Aspen.
I am releasing my little monstrosity into the fray.
Is there any specific order you are giving it?
To seek out people.
Okay, so
To seek, just like go present yourself.
it presents itself. You all see this little shark sheep thing with a gummy mouth just begin to noom off, making little squeaking noises, and immediately makes itself known to two kids, like probably like 10, and they think this is the coolest shit ever. Like they're just gumming on the arms and like, making friends.
Correct. They are objectively correct.
They are great. Aspen?
While all this is happening, when Ray releases our little fuzzy shark friend, Aspen is going to look around and see who is paying attention and is going to try and snag a pet to rehome to their house.
What kind of pet? This could be one I've
Something-
said or one you want to make up. Whatever you want.
I would. I'm so sorry. I needed to check on my dog. Aspen. There is a small, what looks like a snow leopard, but it's got talons. It's got 4 legs, but it's got talons.
How big?
It's small. It's small.
The cat sized?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bigger. Kind of close to Osmond size. And Aspen is going to walk over and try to steal it. This little snow leopard looking creature with talons.
Are you going to try and physically steal it, or are you trying to convince it to go with you steal it?
I will start with trying to convince it.
Okay. Describe to me on how you try to convince it when you don't share a language. And then I'll tell you what you can roll.
Aspen goes and carries around snacks because of the unseen children. Naturally,
Yep.
just does. And has probably been dropping snacks, mostly candy, around places. Has zero idea what this creature might eat, but is going to start laying a trail, pointedly like away from the other animals, knowing full well this is probably going to fail, but is going to try it anyway, to just like subtly lay a little trail of candy, and like is gonna go up to the creature and like drop it alongside themselves and see if they can get the creature to follow them.
Okay. I'm going to say this is a difficulty of 6. It'll be an interaction roll. You
Okay.
can use in one interaction, Bene, to lower the difficulty by 1, if you would like to.
I think that I will, because this is very important to Aspen.
Okay.
They have been looking for a friend for Osmond for quite a while.
And then you may roll. So you need to roll at least a 5. It's about a 50-50 chance.
I rolled a 10.
This happens every single time. It's not a 10, it's a 0 in Invisible Sun.
Oh my god, that's right. I just learned about that this morning.
I was clapping, and I want to take back my clapping because I thought you'd succeeded. I want to be clear on that. I feel for you.
forgot.
It snuffs you and yeets away.
Aspen lets out a very dramatic gasp, just and is going to turn to Ray and say, Ray, can you help me make friends with this creature? I think that Osmond would really enjoy having this creature as a friend.
Sifrona, what did you roll for your movement task to sneak back? a 2 on the die.
2 on the die. Real
Everyone
bad.
notices Sifrona return. You didn't notice her leave, but she obviously has returned just as you are making this exclamation to Ray.
Ray, are you? And is going to turn to Sifrona. Where were you?
I dropped something. I need to go back.
How good of a liar is Sifrona?
Not very good.
Ray believes you. Ray's like, oh, I'm sorry. I could have gotten it for you. What'd you drop?
It's my scarf,
Oh,
Lace
very heavy.
Lace recognizes that this is a lie, but is willing to let it go, and says, well, Aspen has offended a creature.
Excuse me. The creature has offended me.
It's mutual. Mutual offense was taken. I have goat friends, so that's great for me.
you
They're
know,
like currently gnawing on my shoulder, like straight up.
Offense is the best defense. They say that in the shadow.
Do they?
Yeah. I definitely heard it.
Like,
Do I see
since
Someone was about to say something. What?
It's like, do I see this creature that seems to be offended at all, or is this just continues to be afraid? It's obvious which creature it is.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's kind of like partially crawled up a tree on a lower branch, and it's just you see this snow leopard, small dog size, glaring
Talons.
daggers at Aspen. As the 4 of you are having this conversation, Lace, you actually hear your name being called. And very out of nowhere, you have a tap on your shoulder. Lace.
Yes.
And you see your friend Ray, spelled differently from Party Ray, Wray.
I didn't even think about that. I'm real sorry. It was spelled differently in my head, so the pronunciation was not the same.
The visual pronunciation versus the audio.
Yeah.
I get it. Your friend Ray is here. She is a very short, probably 5'1", medium brown skinned young woman with a brown bob cut with a single streak of red in her hair. Hey.
Oh, so cool.
I love her. Her nails are painted this really alternating red and black, and she's like, "Hey, I didn't know you were gonna be here."
I'm kind of surprised that you're here.
I have days off from work. I was actually gonna stop by later today. Do you have a couple minutes?
Sure. I make goat friends.
She gives a little scritchy scritch on the goats. And then she also waves to the 3 of you, Ray, Aspen, and Sifrona. Hey.
I assume they've met Ray, right? Probably, maybe. I don't know. Ray, you probably heard of at least. Ray came through from Shadow with Lace. And I think Lace has kind of implied didn't stick around for long and is very singularly focused on people not being in Shadow anymore.
Can I borrow Lace for a couple minutes?
I'll be back, goat friends. Don't find someone new to love in the interim. Ray, can you, not you, Ray, other Ray.
Tall Ray?
Tall Ray. Can you...
It's me.
Well, I know you're helping Aspen with his problem, but can you also keep an eye on the goats? I don't want them to love anybody else while I'm gone.
I don't think that's possible. But you know what? I'll try.
That's very comforting. And then Lace goes with Ray. Shorter Ray.
Short Ray.
I really created this problem and I apologize.
Ray leads you off to like the side, maybe like 10, 15 feet away. And like as soon as she's like away from your friends and everything like that, she kind of like grows a little serious. And she's like, "So, hey, we tried bringing back Frankie again. And like the same thing happened. Is there anything else you can help with? Can you explain what happened again? Because my boss has never seen this happen before."
I think it's a piece, right? The only reason I could come through was because all of my pieces were together. And
when I tried to bring them through again, like they looked fine. They looked fine in shadow. And when I bring them through, they've got like a chunk missing. So I know what you're talking about, but like, do you know anything? Like, do you have any clues on like what might have happened to it? Because my boss is concerned.
Well, I'm concerned. I mean, I've been concerned. Was it taken? How could it be taken there? How could they have crossed over to Shadow with this piece missing? Unless Shadow is like filling it? It's gone. It wouldn't have been given. So
yeah,
it must have been taken, right?
That's the only thing I can think of, but like, we're trying, you know, the Hindasa, we brought people through, we brought you back, and we're trying to grab people through and try to get everyone back over. And this is just super concerning, and we want to keep trying, but it keeps happening. So I'm
trying to meet with a diviner today. I'm hoping that maybe they will know something, but I don't know how to look for something that I don't know who has it. I don't know where it was taken.
Okay. Like I know I've been trying to keep you as updated as I can since I've tried a couple times since joining the Grey Reapers, but we're probably gonna have to stop trying to bring them through until we figure something out, because the back and the forth is like a new level of stress. And if the same thing's gonna keep happening.
I get it. I'm looking into it. Do you ever think that maybe some people, they just want to stay?
Yeah. I've seen people want to go back, actively try to go back. It's a weird adjustment, especially if their mind is still in that shadow mode of shock. But I don't think that's what it is for Frankie.
I don't either, but like, I don't know what piece it is, and I don't know who took it, and I don't know where they took it, or even if it's still here.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do on my end, but is there anything else that I can do to help?
I mean, you can scare up some more diviners.
I'll see what I can do. I'm sure Cicero knows someone. They know everybody.
Yeah, well, some of Cicero's friends are questionable.
Cicero is a good guy. They know a lot of people, and
I didn't say they weren't, but
okay. Try not to stress out too much. At least have fun. Get some good food.
try not to work too hard.
Yeah, this is my day off before I head back. Try and find more Vizsla, so.
Right.
Yes.
Come here.
She gives you a big hug. But yeah, sorry I brought this up. I'm leaving like in a day and a half, so.
Well, do you want to come pet the goats?
Yes.
There might be well, it depends on if this creature forgives Aspen. We'll see. And Aspen forgives the creature, I guess. I don't know. It's very complicated.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, Ray and Aspen. But I feel like when Lace comes back with Short Ray, y'all are just trying to coax this cat out of a tree. It's not having it. Not having it.
Oh, hold on. I think like when we approach the tree, I'm like, Songbird, how can I make friends with that? You know, you're smart. And he's like saying this under his breath and trying to have this conversation with the songbird.
I want you to roll because it's sometimes conversational, not all the time.
Gotcha.
So, all right, make an interaction task with
All right.
Songbird.
That is a 5.
Did you spend any interaction, Bene?
I have 5 of it, so yes.
Okay, so you got a challenge 6. I will say you get a response. You talk and reach out to Songbird. And you're talking under your breath, but it's also a mental reach as well. And as you speak to Songbird, and after a moment or two, you hear the sound of rustling grass and creaking of wood and vines enter your mind. And you hear your friend, which is just a soft whisper in your mind's ear. Oh, you have to get a good scritch on the butt. And also feed it some emotions.
Oh, I have a lot of those. All right, got it. And Ray is gonna risk arms as he's gonna like try and like reach up and try and get like a butt scritch and see if he doesn't get too swiped up as he does it.
How are you feeding it emotions?
Oh, through
butt scritch?
Through the scritch.
Okay.
I just feeding it his excitement.
I will say that this role talking to Songbird also is going to be in with this as well. And you get the elevator butt.
Mm-hmm.
And it begins loudly purring, which sounds like nails on a chalkboard purring. It's not pleasant, but it's purring.
I think Ray just tries to like off the branch.
It purrs.
Does it go?
It goes to Ray.
Ray, how did you do that?
Well, I'm just really great at making friends. You know, I'm just really good at it. And it really likes butt scritches. And then I think it feels like it likes knowing how you feel. You know.
So Kian, I'm sorry, my friend. I'm gonna give you a despair because it likes Ray more than you, and it's gonna go home with Ray.
That is pretty despairing. So
That's so sad. I'm so
I
sorry.
understand.
I don't think Ray knows that. Did Aspen explain that they were trying to steal the cat?
No.
Ray's not gonna. Ray's like, this belongs to the petting zoo.
You have a little shadow now, Ray.
Oh, perfect. And the thing is gonna escape the petting. It's gonna come home with Ray. I love it. Yeah. And
Wait,
Ray's
you're
just
muted,
like,
Sophrona?
My bad. She is avoiding touching any of these animals, by the way. Like,
Perfect.
Does Sophrona seem uncomfortable or just please don't touch me?
she doesn't. I mean, you would know this. You would know this, that it's like when she touches people sometimes it's like an electric shock. And she does not think the animals are going to enjoy this. So it's like she's not afraid of them. She just does not want the poor beasties getting a shock because she doesn't know if they'd understand that. So she's just bundled up.
One of the snarts, which is the two-headed weasels with a head on each end that keeps moving and they don't stop, does end up brushing against you and gets shocked.
Oh.
And then they do it again.
To imagine. Yeah, I was gonna say, given my knowledge of like ferret and weasels, they're just like, this is a great idea.
I love snarts. I love snarts so much.
I'm glad you managed to introduce them so early. Right. From episode 1. We love it.
Little weasels that like to get shocked. Amazing.
If they stop moving, they die. So they keep moving and moving and moving. So while one head sleeps, the other one is up and moving all the time.
That's so
amazing.
sad.
It is sad.
That's a horrifying concept if you really think about it. Like,
Wow.
But they won't because they're adorable.
Perfect.
But that's canon lore. Sorry.
How long have we been at the petting space?
I feel like a while. I feel like
time.
Lunch is approaching.
Well, this has not gone to plan the way I wanted it to. Should we head over and see this seer of all futures? And Aspen has zero idea what the actual full title is, but is pretending.
We should get lunch because we're going to spend lunch with Rorak, Diviner of Futures, Seer of fuck. And he says
I was so impressed. I just went.
I was too.
Man, I really thought I was going to get it too.
If you had a pamphlet, you'd be able to read it. So I just put it in chat if anyone wanted to read it again.
Just nobody's
No, I feel like that we're all trying to do it from memory and just getting it so wrong.
Yep.
All right.
What does the weather still look like? Does it look like the same as before, or has it gotten worse, gotten better?
The winds have picked up. If not, the storm hasn't broken. You can all tell a storm is coming. What it's gonna look like in the tundra versus the rest of our town is to be determined, but there will be precipitation of some kind at some point today.
Has Saferna ever talked about anything interesting that she experiences with the weather?
She would have told you that she is looking for she's interested in the weather, and that some of the storms that she's interested are very, very strange. I think I'm trying to determine, like, she doesn't know a whole lot about them, but I think she would have told you about, like, the rain does like this weird thing sometimes where it looks like it's like, have you ever like really looked at when it's raining and it looks like there's like a gap in the middle, or like seen things where there's stuff in the fog that's not really there, like sort of like casually interviewing everybody if they've noticed this or seen it. So I think
Ray has always been like, no, never.
Oblivious.
So it's like it's not like a secret thing that she's like secreting, but it's like she doesn't know a whole lot about it, so it's like weird to explain, and it's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, have you seen it? It's like, no. Okay, I don't know how to explain it to you then. But you would know that is a thing, that she's investigating the weather that does not seem to be happening here, but is here. I don't know if that makes sense. But...
All right. So
to me, it does.
So it sounds like lunch and then talking to Rorak. All right. Okay. let's go take a quick break, everybody. We'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will get back to good food and actually just good food. So, everybody, we will be back soon. Rest, take a walk, pet your pets. We'll be back soon. Bye. Hello, everybody. We are back from break and into our second half of Fraying Threads, our Invisible Sun campaign set in the surreal world of Saturnine. And Invisible Sun is written by Monty Cook Games. If you would like to help support the cast, we have a Pally, and I'll just put that in chat quickly. But we are returning from a successful heist from a petting zoo, but not for the person who wanted it.
Mixed success.
Some plant gazing, friend making, friend releasing, and some sad news and heartbreaking news for Lace. But we return, so the four of you can go talk to Rorak, diviner of the grand cosmos, seeker of knowledge, seer of the past, present, and future. The indigo magic specialist. That is going to be, that's working here at the Festival of the Path. The four of you begin to make your way down the rows and rows of people selling food. You also were going to get lunch as well. You have your choice of a lot of things. You have muffins, you have fried clouds, it's a lot of different like desserts that can make you feel certain emotions. So they're probably baked with emotion leaves. Of course, just like in Shadow, there's garlic everything. So you have your options. As you begin to walk up to the booth that was closed, what are y'all eating? What'd you grab for lunch?
Ray got some really weird kebabs. They were called mystery kebabs. And everyone got differently shaped ones. And Ray doesn't know what his are, but they're amazing. He has like 2 of them.
So good.
Lace gets like a really giant, you know those taco salads that are in like a giant, like crunchy bowl and are less salad and more like giant taco? Definitely one of those. But also, are there emotion sauces?
Yes, you got a smorgasbord of options.
I think Lace is embracing emotional volatility because, like, one section of it is just like, oh, this is the happiest I've ever been. And then the next one is like, I'm really angry, but I'm
going
down
the line of sauces and pumping it in.
Exactly. Like, probably inadvisable, but Lace is just like, YOLO.
Chaos.
I feel like
Don't forget to unmute.
I feel like this is one of those things where I just forget every food that's ever existed. But you know, like something that's like, I think she would have tried those fried clouds. Like, should we get in the mood for talking about weather? We're gonna eat some fried clouds, whatever those are. I don't even know if she knows what they are.
So soft, a little wet, but very fluffy.
Like napkins. Just
they're very
she doesn't
sweet.
want to. Oh. I feel like she's just doing the thing with, like, you know, when you pick them up with your hands and then you just napkins all over the place and you're just like, oh shit, I don't have enough napkins, but you don't want to wipe it off on your clothes, so you're just kind of standing there like that. But they're very good. It's just now her hands are wet.
Aspen went for some French fries.
Just straight up simple French fries.
Straight up French fries. Just wanted to be able to snack, and would refill their candy stash as well. I like to imagine that there are these little round candies that look exactly like marbles, and whenever you eat them, it does sound like shattering glass, but it's not actually marbles. It just
that
sounds
made me
like
cringe.
Sorry.
It's okay. Dipping sauce of choice for the French fries?
Ooh, something that tastes like barbecue sauce, but gives the emotion of hmm, comfort, because Aspen is feeling pretty distraught about this little creature that didn't want to be friends with him. So
And is now following Ray.
I is trying not to look. Aspen is like pointedly kind of walking with the group, but is turned away, so they're having to walk sideways a little bit because does not want to see that this creature is hanging out with Ray.
I think Lace offers Aspen some of the like joy sauce for the French fries just to like, you know, make it sting a little less if Aspen would like.
Aspen absolutely accepts. Thank you, dear. This is very, very hard on me in the moment. I'm feeling very upset about this, but is trying to keep their voice quiet because they don't want Ray to feel bad about this.
Sure.
You got a shadow, Ray.
Ray's just like focusing. Ray is so tall, and like there's that amount of people that he just doesn't realize there's a shadow. He's just chomping on these. He's just chomping on these bits. One is strangely chewy, but not wet like a fried cloud. So but he's just like, texture.
I also think that the little marbles that shatter just cause Lace to be like to check her hands and then to be like, okay, everything's fine. And we're just moving on.
As the four of you are chomping on lunch, you get back to the booth that was set for Rorak, where there was a sheet covering something on the table, and the sign that's there is no longer on the counter. It's like there, but it's like flipped down. There's no one behind the counter in the booth, but there is a group of people out front, like just chatting, like between booths nearby.
Is there someone there who looks like, I'm stereotyping, is there someone here that looks like a diviner? Is
Okay.
the vibe like
So a couple people you see is a lacuna, which are entities that look like humanoid cutout portals to another place. This one looks like the image of a night sky. Another person is like long black hair, tan skin, nicely trimmed goatee, and average looking clothes. And someone whose hair is just so rainbowy and a bright motley of colors. And they all just seem to be shooting the shit, eating lunch.
Excuse me.
They all kind of like look over at you. The lacuna waves.
Hi.
Hello.
These are my friends. I'm Lace. We're looking for and I think she straight up turns to the table where it's written and reads off. Wait, I gotta scroll. Rorak, divider of the great cosmos, seeker of knowledge, and seer of the past, present, and future.
The lacuna and the rainbow-headed person both snicker, and the lacuna like elbows the goateed man who's just letting out the longest sigh.
I'm sorry, did I read it wrong?
No, you read it right, which I don't know what's worse.
Is there a name that you prefer?
Jared. Rorak's my father.
Jared? Everybody, this is Jared.
Hi. And like he's like giving like a annoyed glance at his two friends before walking behind the counter. Hi, I'm Rorak, diviner of the grand cosmos, seeker of knowledge, etc., etc., etc.
Wait, I thought you said that was your dad.
It is my dad. He roped me into helping out today because he had to get sick.
Ooh. Well, Jared, it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How can I divine the future, seek knowledge for you, look into the cosmos? Oh, God. You just hear him mumble under his breath in frustration.
I don't mean to be rude, but is it possible that you've gone into the family business?
I know how to do the family business. Yes.
Well, you understand my confusion.
Do you want me to answer a question or not?
Sure, who wants to go first?
He just
I
kind of
guess
looks expectantly at all of you like,
Ray, do you want to go first?
I know my question. I have a friend who is hard to contact,
mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to figure out the best way to meet that friend.
Okay. You just want to know how to meet your friend?
Yeah.
Okay. And like, Jared, this individual, finally takes off the tarp that's over like the top of like the table and everything. And what you all see is a rectangle and a large cylindrical thing on top of that, along with just boxes of sugar, and it's a cotton candy machine. Okay, just a disclaimer. The magic is legit, but the spell and the magic don't always tell you what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. Not what you want, but not what you need. Is this clear?
You said not twice in the second part? So it's not what I want, but what I need, or it's not either?
It will give you what you need, not necessarily what you want.
Perfect. All I need to know is how to meet the songbird.
Okay. Do you have a flavor preference on the cotton candy?
Whatever is hard for you to get rid of.
All right. And Jared begins to take the sugar and put it into the cotton candy machine and begins to make you a stick of cotton candy, and it is coming out this reddish gray color as he begins to move the stick around and collect the sponge sugar. And as the four of you are watching him, you see within this fluffy sugar cloud images. They are very quick, very flat, a quick flash. You can barely tell what they are. But Ray, you see green. You see yourself. You see and feel the songbird. And eventually, after several minutes, he holds out a stick of cotton candy to you. Beautiful little fluffy cloud of sugar.
All right. And he takes it easy.
And you eat it?
I eat it.
Yeah.
Like, he asks him, like, do I eat it? Like,
yes, you eat it.
Yeah, he takes a big bite. All those sharp teeth.
It is sweet and herbaceous at the same time. And as you are letting the sugar dissolve in your mouth, you are somewhere else. You see on the ground a summoning circle. You hear in your ears the voice of the songbird, vines moving and creaking, the whisper of wind against plants against your ear. And you hear it speaking to you, and it is telling you a name. You can't hear the name. It's too long to hear, and it's garbled. But it's leading you towards a summoning. to get them here. And to find this entity, you need to learn its name. And this summoning circle reaches open. And you just see a mass of vines that are your friend.
I think with this tomato basil cotton candy, Ray really just sort of like he has almost like a blissed out look on his face, like a sincere, serene smile, and maybe a bit of green light behind his eyes. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, did we hear Ray ask the person or say that he wanted to meet the songbird?
He did say that out loud this time.
Okay. And had we heard you say that before, or had you kept that secret? Okay.
It wasn't a secret, but I think this is the first time he said it out loud.
Okay.
Because I always forget to do this before the next person asks their question, the next card on the path, which is the Blue Sun, I have pulled the Messiah. Value of 7, vision, swans, blades, and water. Change, salvation, familial love. Many fear change, others embrace it eagerly. Often, not always, but often. The former live happy and satisfying situations, while the later do not. In other words, change is a salvation that not everyone needs. The Messiah is the defender of Vision's family. She defends by changing the things that threaten or menace. As a defender, the Messiah is particularly concerned with families and the bonds of love that exist there. We don't have any empaths in the party, so no one benefits from this card. Yeah.
Just emotionally.
Just emotionally, yes.
I think if it is not apparent that anyone else wants to go next, Lace will step forward.
Yeah. Aspen or Sifrona, do either of you step forward, or do you just let Lace?
Aspen stands back.
And is Jared holding out a hand, or is there a contact that is necessary for this?
Nope.
Okay,
So
then I
as you
think
step forward,
Lace...
he's just kind of like giving you expectant, motioning to the sugars, what flavor do you want? Ooh. Did we lose Gilly? Oh, Gilly, you back?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, there's a storm here right now, and so my internet is a little funky. So I think Lace puts her hand on the table, and kind of points to various things, and I think also sticks with savory as a theme. And you can see that of all of the places that you can see, just the part of her hand is what has the most lines that looks like it has been joined and broken and reunited the most, perhaps. And it is sort of shifted to, from the cloud cover, it's sort of shifted to match the drape of her shawl, which is a dark pinky purple color. And she says, I want to know who or what or where has Frankie's missing piece.
Frankie's missing piece. And he gets a just concentrating look on his face before he also begins to make another piece of cotton candy, a stick of cotton candy for you. And this one is a little brown and green and a little bit of red, but mostly brown and green as he begins to spin and spin for you. And then while he's spinning, you see a lot of glass. You see fracturing of both yourself and Frankie, and images of you leaning over people in shadow with the needle tattoo gun in your hand just vibrating. And eventually, he hands you cotton candy. And as you take a bite, you are suddenly not on the fairgrounds of the Tundra Pet Park. You find yourself in the streets of Saturnine on a stormy night. You see Frankie splintering and reforming. You see vines on the ground lunging towards them. But what is in front of you, what your hands grasp around, is a large mineral piece of white with flecks of like colored mica in it. And it is warm in your hand as Frankie disappears, pulled back to a lie.
Do I recognize where?
Where in Saturnine?
Yeah.
Make me an intelligence check, please. So you're gonna you're gonna roll an intellect. You don't know the challenge rating, but you can spend a penny of intellect and roll if you'd like.
Yes, but in honor of Val, whose TTRPG learning spaces I watched last night, I would like to call it a bean.
No.
That's for you, Val.
Why? No.
Okay, I rolled a 6.
So that would put you at a 7 because you spend a bene.
Yes.
Bene.
The outrage, though. The outrage was so funny.
Val, this is your fault.
Val, you did this.
This is your fault. Yes, you do recognize this. This location is outside the Hendasa adjustment facility, where after coming back from Shadow, after you have been retrieved by the Grey Reapers, after a short transition calm down period at the headquarters of the Grey Reapers, you're brought to an adjustment facility so you can reacclimate to the surrealness of the actuality.
So does it look, I just want to clarify, does it look like this happened recently or this happened before we originally went to Shadow?
You don't know. This does not look familiar to you.
And it looks like I have the shard, the piece.
You at least pick it up. Or it's unclear. You think it's yourself.
If I look down, does it look like me?
Your hands are shardy and broken. So yes, you can assume it's you.
I have the piece. No, that's wrong. Okay. Okay. I don't know what it means, but it's valuable. I'll take it.
It is valuable. Jared kind of like just stretches and moves his shoulders as if he's getting a kink out, and looks at both Aspen and Sophrona.
This is just a quick question, but it's like, do I recognize like how he does this, or is it like just totally out of anything that I would recognize?
It's not magic you know specifically, but he is a Vizsla of some sort. It's not Vancian magic. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Honestly, Lace, you would be able to tell that he is a weaver of some sort.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like... I mean, thinking about what she knows about weavers, it doesn't look like this person's specialty is the same as mine.
Correct.
But presumably something to do with time, I'm gonna guess.
It's a safe guess.
Yeah.
Okay. The Sophrona will step up and she will simply say, I want to know where the storms go and where are they coming from. I presume your magic can figure out exactly what from there. Trust you.
Gives you a wry smile. Flavor?
Something salty, like the sea, if you have it.
Like saltwater taffy?
Yes. She's very genuine about all this, by the way.
they grab a sugar that is a very pale light blue and white, and once again begins to spin. You also see in the fluffy cloud greenery, the ocean, a shark, one much nicer and larger than Ray's that they summoned. And eventually, you are handed a seafoam blue cloud of sugar.
Thank you very much. She'll rip off a small piece and she'll eat the small piece.
Just like Lace and Ray before you, you are somewhere else entirely. You are no longer in Fartown. You don't even think you're in Saturnine. And what you are surrounded by is green. You see before you large trees hollowed out to look like abodes, canopies rising as high as you can see. You see plants, you smell flowers. It is a thriving, beautiful garden of a city. Birds sing in the air. You hear the water of a brook off in the distance, and a beautiful bright light in the trunk of a tree far, far away. And then the image cuts and skips forward. And you see this same once beautiful green place desiccated and brown and dying as large vines of dark green and purple and tinged red suck away the life of this place. But this time, as this image has cut from life to death, you see someone you recognize, actually. A tall creature, not as tall as Ray, green, covered in carnivorous plants. They don't have a face of any humanoid type, but you can tell they are staring in horror and pain at the desolation of this, well, an oasis. And you recognize Drosera rotenfolia, the owner of Botanical Spiral, where Alana Albion works at. And then the vision cuts.
Have I seen them lately? Do I know if they've...
It's a hit or miss on whether they're in the shop, but they are majority of the time not in the shop.
Okay.
I would say 20% of the time they're in the shop that you're there.
Thank him again. Thank you for your services.
And last but not least, he turns to you, Aspen.
Before Aspen steps up, as they have been lingering in the back, have I seen Adastrea Chauncey anywhere around this festival?
Someone roll me a d10 and just tell me what you get.
5.
No.
Okay.
I also got...
Aspen will step forward and is going to look at Rorak and say, do I have to say it out loud?
I need to know.
They're going to pull out their notebook and write down in the notebook what they're going to ask and fold it and hand it over to Rorak. And the note says, I need to bring back someone who has died.
He looks down at it, shrugs. All right, now since you're the last person of this group, I do have a question for you. Do you want the unicorn bacon or do you want fresh cotton candy?
The unicorn bacon?
Okay, and he points inside like the cotton candy bowl. You see all this sugar that's kind of like solidified on the outside. It's like striped and it kind of looks like bacon. That's unicorn bacon.
I'll probably never do this again. Why not?
All right, unicorn bacon it is. And instead of making the cotton candy again, he does hold your paper in one hand and lace to your eyes begins to weave magic over the sugar that has solidified outside around the bowl. And it sparkles. And then someone roll me another d10 and just tell me if it's evens or odds. A 0, so that's evens. He fiddles with the sugar and the unicorn bacon and is able to take out the circular piece of sugar unbroken.
Impressive.
Sophroner literally does like little polite laugh. Not laugh, clap.
All right. It's been a while since
Like a
this
giggle.
came out whole. Enjoy.
Aspen is also going to hold out their hand to see if they can take the piece of paper back.
It's gone.
Okay. I'll take a bite. It's like a whole.
It's pure sugar.
Is it a flat circle or is it like cotton candy shaped?
It's a flat circle.
It's
not like completely flat. It's like an inch wide of like sugar, a sugar ring.
I'm gonna take the biggest bite I can and bite into it, and probably make a little bit of a face. But
it's such an amalgamation of flavors, filled with others like hopes and questions.
Did anyone else do this in like middle school where we had that Halloween thing where we had to answer trivia questions in class and then we got to add things to a smoothie and you could pick? No, was this okay? With like you could put stuff in the other team's smoothies and so people would put like a pickle and raspberries and
This just sounds like a fucked up version of King's Cup.
That's essentially what it is, but for middle schoolers with language arts quizzes.
Gotcha.
ooh,
Lovely.
This is what this reminds me of. This is what Aspen is eating right now.
It is an amalgamation of flavors, Aspen. And your question was what? Remind me, you wanted to bring back someone who is dead?
yes.
Okay. You are also transported somewhere else. You see a desiccated land of brown and death. But you are holding in your hands something green and silver and full of life. It is warm and glowing, about the size of a basketball. And I want you to roll me a... I believe makers have a skill, something about quantifying like makers' ingredients, identifying ingredients or something like that. I want you to roll and you can apply that. And you can also use an intellect bene.
I absolutely will use an intellect bene for that. Well, what is that? That would be a 7.
On the die or 7 on the die?
A 6 on the die.
6 on the die, so you technically have an 8.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, because of the bene. Yes. So
You have the bene and the 1 level of your skill. You're not sure exactly what this is.
Okay.
Like, you're not sure like what it is exactly, but you feel both green magic and silver magic, life and creation, and it is powerful. It can be used as a power source to power your makings.
Am I in? I'm sorry, and you mentioned it earlier. What kind of space am I in? It's just like I've never seen anything that's like dead like this before.
Dead greenery, large trees that have been encircled in green vines with purple and red tinged thorns. And you are holding a powerful life source of creation.
Okay.
Not unlike a soul.
Okay. As I come back to myself, Aspen is very flamboyant and showy and enjoys doing that. And there's this somberness to him that none of y'all have probably ever seen before. And clearly is affected by what they have seen, but does not say anything, just sort of nods to Rorak and to Jared and sort of takes a step away just in case anybody else wants to come forward again.
I think Lace, while as Aspen did not say their question out loud while this has been happening, Lace has a sketchbook, and because one of my skills is how did I phrase it? I phrased it specifically, bringing ideas to ink, and so Lace is sketching what she saw.
You were a tattoo artist. I'm not going to make you roll to draw anything.
Right. This is why I gave myself the skill. So basically it's like I want to have recall of like what the vines were doing and like the details of this. Lace will also draw for anyone else if they want to describe it, like sketch artist vibes. But like she wants to remember specifically what she saw.
Yeah. I say you can jot that down in art form. Absolutely. Anything else I can do for any of you, or can I get back to eating lunch?
Can I ask another question?
Unfortunately, no.
I fear I've wasted mine. I needed to understand how to befriend something in the petting zoo.
That I cannot help with.
It'll just take time.
Aspen is not happy with this answer.
I know. This, like, with permission, Lace will offer like a comforting pat on the shoulder.
If I like eat, like, do I get the vision? Like, do you get the vision once if you like eat cotton candy the first time, or is it just like every time?
You get the
like,
vision once, and then you just get like the vague emotional connection that you had to it, but you only get the physical vision once.
I have a question about the emotional content of my vision then. Did I feel like I had taken it, or did I feel like I had stumbled upon it?
You felt success.
Felt success.
Triumph.
I felt triumph. Don't know what it means.
Nope.
Okay.
That's the thing about visions.
This is diviners, man. Diviners.
Yeah. Oh,
he could have been more
Mare,
insufferable.
actually,
he could have been acting like his father. With all the
That's
drama
true.
and the flair.
I have no issue with Jared. It's just the profession, you know?
Yeah, fair. Sorry, what was the question?
Mare, what emotions did I have about my vision? Because we talked about my vision.
Yeah.
And I know what I think Ray would have, but what did he gain?
You know that feeling when you finally meet an online friend for the first time?
Like half despair, half excitement?
I've felt excitement. Maybe despair that I've always felt excitement when I see an online
this
friend
is
for the
nothing
first
against anyone I've ever met online. I have literally met 2 out of the 3 partners I've had online. But there's always the feeling of like, what if they're wild? What if I have made what if they don't like me? What if I have made several mistakes? I have watched so many episodes of Catfish.
Yeah.
And so the anxiety that buzzes within my very being all the time is just in there, like,
whatever
what if
Ray's emotion would be to seeing an online friend for the first time. How about that?
Ray's probably not as anxious as I am. Excitement.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anyway.
And now all of chat knows that I have anxiety.
I'm gonna go back to lunch.
Please do.
Enjoy the rest of the festival.
I have a quick question. Do I recognize what kind of tree this is at all? Or is it just like a tree that I had in this vision?
You're not sure what kind of tree it is. It's not any tree you've seen in Shadow or any of the weird ass trees you've seen in Saturnine. Its leaves were a motley color of like cyan, fuchsia, and like a bright green.
I do have 2 levels in horticulture. I don't know if that's relevant.
Have you been studying any non-shadow plants?
I would say no.
In that
To be
case, you
honest,
wouldn't have a
okay, no.
chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Covering all my bases, just making sure.
You're fine. Jared.
But it's like I definitely know it's not shadow.
Correct.
Okay.
Jared covers the cotton candy machine back up, gives y'all a wave, and goes back to chill with his friends.
Does the cotton candy machine look portable?
Not easily. It's pretty big.
Okay.
And
All right.
just as a Vizsla in general, it's not the cotton candy that's special.
Okay.
Yeah, I
It's the
think
magic.
Lace would be, while this was happening, Lace would probably have been like sketching and like shop talk, and like that doesn't look like it's time, maybe infinity if you bring it together, and is just like muttering different weaving combinations to themselves, just like
Maybe.
Ray is like, I want to go see the fight. Now that we've done this, I want to go see the fight. I'm sure that and like Goetics might know names of people. It's really important to know names.
The fight's in about an hour. It's slated for about an hour from now. If you wanted to go see Charles Abernathy talk, that's starting soon.
Aspen
Charles.
starts to head over to that.
Lace, Safrona, and Ray, do you follow?
Yeah.
She's completed everything she's wanted here. Why not see some people say some things?
Okay.
I think Lace is still sketching and offering to do so for anyone who would like it. And then I think she does a little doodle of furry shark friend.
I love Shuri Shark Friend so much.
I should make it clear very early in this campaign that I myself have no drawing ability, but Lace is very good at it. I'm living my dreams.
A mood.
Yes, good. Tall artist dreams.
All artist dreams.
Is the shark friend with us, or did it stay in the petting zoo?
Ray told it to make friends and go off. So, unless you told it to come back, Ray.
I don't think Ray thought that far. Ray was just like, go make friends.
And
You know.
make friends
And-
and did.
As a goetic, like, would I be like, and like, since this thing is like a part of me, because again, Ray like looks slimmer, like the sweater is like looser on his body now, because like he uses like the parts of his body to like create these things, and so I'm wondering, does that mean that like if Ray like thought hard enough, would it come back, or would he have to find it again to like command it?
I think you would need to find it based off like what I've been reading off of your forte.
Oh,
At least within verbal distance.
he's making friends.
He's making friends.
I have to ask, because we would probably know at this point, right? Because we've been friends long enough. Does this just last forever and this is a permanent creature now, or does it get eventually reincorporated?
I don't know how it happens, but they do eventually disappear.
They just melt.
However,
Okay.
Victor says it happens is how it looks, but they do eventually disappear.
Okay, I just wanted to know if, like, you were originally 9 feet tall, but over time you've just lost 2 feet because you keep making shark friends.
No, they disincorporate. I think they crumble into clay, which I think would be very funny and traumatic for any like person like petting it. Just
Oh my
like
god.
Like, I'm imagining like a
kids.
toddler like holding it underneath the torso and just like walking around with it.
So traumatic.
That's what's happening. Whether you can't see it right now, but there is a child coming up to their parent with the arms underneath the front with its like tail dragging on the ground between the kid's legs. It's like, we found a friend.
very
That's what's
good
happening.
friend.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. Love it.
Charles Abernathy. Sorry. Okay, I have pulled the mysterious rune for the next card, which is a value of 9. Secrets, ravens, books, and flames. So gallants get a +1 to their ventures. Meanings, magic, mystery, and wordless communication. This is on the Indigo Sun. Words are spells and spells are words. Runes encode words. They hide them in plain sight. Store them. If you can decipher the rune, you gain its meaning and thus its power. Those who scribe a rune, or even those who hold the book or other object the rune marks, are its masters. The Secrets family holds the mystery of a rune along with all its hidden meanings. It is not an unknowable truth, but a secret that can be learned, though it's likely difficult and dangerous one. Red magic enhanced, blue is hindered. When the 4 of you make your way towards small area. It's like a mini amphitheater of seats in a semicircle, and in the center, the four of you see a middle-aged man by the name of Charles Abernathy. Aspen, you're pretty good friends with him. And Ray, you know of him. Up to you how good of a friend you want to be, but you at least know of him from the Order of Goetica. Lace and Sifrona, you don't know who this is. But Aspen, you see your friend who you have told many stories and talked with on many a lovely day, sitting with only like a couple people around him, and he's just talking to them. And you kind of come in mid-conversation, as it's not really a seminar, but just more like a vomit of words. And he's talking about shadow. So I know a lot of people don't like shadow. And with all the confusing emotions between the war and going there, living a life where you forget about your real one and then coming back to something strange and different, and I get it. But a lot of Vizsla and those who learn about the Grey Sun do not take that experience as it should be. And while it's hard and difficult, and I understand that, and it's fake, which a lot of people don't like and are very upset about, like their time has been stolen from them. But just because it was fake doesn't mean it didn't have an impact on you. Doesn't mean that it didn't shape who you are. And a lot of people forget that. And I really think, and I know I'm in the minority here, but just like a book or a piece of fiction, just because it doesn't exist doesn't mean it's not important part of your being. And it just kind of goes along this type of talk for a little bit. And when you come into view, Aspen, Charles does catch your eye and smiles.
I nod once in Charles' direction. Are there chairs?
Yeah, there's
around?
chairs. There's some chairs, benches, like stumps of wood, just that can be used as a chair, stuff like that. Rocks.
I will go and sit, probably on a stump of wood, and Aspen sits a little bit heavier, has kind of a leg that is a little worse for wear, and sits down and has their cane kind of propped up on their knees and is listening intently, and still hasn't really gotten out of that lull that they seem to be in. And the more that Charles is talking, Aspen almost appears to be sort of drifting off and not as present as they usually are whenever Charles speaks.
Raylace and Sophrona, do you listen or do you want to have a little talk while Aspen listens?
I think Ray is like excited to hear what Charles has to say because he agrees. Like part of his like main joy as a Visley is, like he gets to create, and all of the stuff that he creates from, like even in himself, is sort of like, what's it called? It's inspired by what he kept from the shadow. Like his like little memento is like a small pack of like clay carving tools. And so like he's not a maker, but like he doesn't think he has to like use magic to create stuff that like impacts himself and others. And so like he's very interested to listen to Charles, but also potentially for other reasons.
I think Sophrona does, like, she's in the same sort of thing, except she doesn't want to really seem that way. She doesn't remember basically anything from Shadow, so she's both like, she understands this, but sort of trying to dismiss it as irrelevant. She is going to keep a close eye on Aspen, though. I think that's mostly what she's going to focus on. Less Charles, more Aspen, because Aspen, he seems, out of it. So she is going to stay close by to them, just not try to directly interact unless Aspen looks like they need that. So just sort of hovering nearby. I think that's mostly what she's focused on. More than Charles, yes.
Lace is keeping an eye on Sophrona because she doesn't know what you were doing earlier, but it's sort of difficult to tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels like it's sort of difficult to tell sometimes whether you're enjoying yourself or not. Like there might be some like mercurial quality there. And so I think Lace is trying to keep an eye on if like Sophrona looks uncomfortable or is like showing signs of not wanting to be there, but is also sketching. And I think that like the quality of these sketches varies wildly from like, maybe there's a person a few rows in front of us who has like a hairstyle that Lace thinks would make a cool tattoo, or something like that. And then it's also drawing like a sheep shark, but like reversed. So like what Ray did earlier, but all of the sheep qualities are now shark qualities, and so it's like it has sheep teeth and like gills, but it's a sheep.
I love it.
It's horrifying.
It's just a shaved sheep with gills.
It's just a little guy.
It's just a little guy.
I will show this to Ray later as a suggestion for your next creation.
I don't think anything will trump horse, but upside down and backwards.
Yeah, and I'm still carrying that around, by the way.
Beautiful. Eventually, Charles does stop talking. It doesn't look like it was a very long talk. It was very simple, to the point, get people thinking, and just conversation. And he eventually gets up, and what approaches you is a pretty tall, handsome man with medium brown skin, very salt pepper hair, pretty handsome, and some scruff on his face. And he walks up to y'all. Mostly Aspen and Ray, but mostly Aspen. They're actually good friends. But he waves since if you're close enough to close enough to be like a part of a group. And he just nods at you. Nice to see you.
As Charles approaches, Aspen just says, "Charles, my dear, lovely stories as always. How are you?"
I'm good. It's been a long day, but how about you?
It's been a long day as well, I think. Hopefully, you've been able to enjoy the festival a bit.
I had a very good drink made of light earlier. It was very good.
I love that for you. These are my friends, and would go and introduce Lace and Safrona and Ray.
Charles Abernathy holds out a hand to all of you, if you would like to shake it. Nice to meet you.
Safrona I'm trying to ask. It's been 30 minutes since the pet park, yes?
It has.
Okay, so when she puts out his hand and touches it, he will get shocked.
Ooh. Oh, sorry. And then when he gets to you, Ray, he does hold out your hands. I don't know if it's nice to see you again.
Yeah, we don't really get to speak that often, but, I'm busy with my art, you're busy being right, and, Ray shakes Charles's hand.
That's an interesting word to use. Just some opinions, but glad to hear you agree.
Yeah, part of my greatest joys is, creating with the medium that I learned to work with in the shadow.
I'd love to hear about it sometime if you'd like to talk about your experience over there.
Sure. We can trade. You can tell me about the things you've done exciting things you've done for the Goetics, and I'll tell you about all my interesting statues.
I guess it's a fair trade. I don't know how much I can tell you. I don't really do a lot anymore. We could talk another day, though. Fair trade. Fair trade.
Lace will show the statue as a demonstration of Ray's skill.
Yes, perfect. The horse put upside down and backwards with a cat on its stomach back.
The cat's great, right?
I love it. And he looks like your bush with teeth that's, I'm assuming, still on your hat awkwardly.
Yeah.
And I think yours is still in your little muff, right, Safrona?
It is, yes. It's still in my muff. Nice and safe.
So he doesn't see that one, but
so safe.
So safe.
My double snout pig with the giraffe neck. That's very good.
I love it. Yeah, we can definitely talk at some point. But how has your day been?
We went to see the seer, which, if you have a moment at another time, I'd love a private word to pick your brain about something.
Absolutely. I love our conversations.
Much obliged. But yes, did you get a chance to see the seer?
I don't really have an interest in talking to a seer. I'm glad you got what you needed or what you asked for, however it went, but I don't really need a reason to go see or divine the future, so I haven't.
If you're inclined, it's delicious cotton candy. I would recommend the unicorn bacon.
I'll keep that in mind. If anything, I'll at least get some sugar.
Well, I simply wanted to come and say hello and let you know that I'll be stopping by sometime soon. Let's go and grab a form of a drink, whatever you would prefer, and chat.
Coffee or wine?
That can certainly be arranged.
No, which one?
Oh.
Coffee, wine.
Perhaps wine for this conversation.
Okay, we can either go to Zero's or bar. No, Zero's or cafe. For reference, there is a bar/cafe in Fartown where in the daytime it's a cafe called bar and at night it's a bar called cafe.
As you do.
I love that. And we will be going to cafe because Aspen has been to Zero's. The cafe sounds very exciting.
Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go see if I can get some unicorn bacon. And he waves a hand at the four of you before walking away.
Anything else, anybody?
Oh, sorry, I was just like, is everything all right, Aspen? Seem
Of
very.
course. Everything's fine.
All right. It's like very disbelieving. Okay.
Aspen is, I do have a skill in lying. I have a level 2 skill in lying, but Aspen is having a bit of a hard time sort of recentering. So to anybody who did not talk to him regularly, it's very believable. But you all have been around enough to kind of catch that it's a little too forced this time around.
I think maybe we know something weird is happening, but we are not certain of what.
It just
Yes.
looks like a mood drop.
Yes.
Yeah. Ray is going to ask Aspen then, are you sad because like Charles is like really nice and kind of attractive, but maybe you're not sure how to move on with that?
I mean, I'm glad that somebody else noticed. Charles is a very attractive man, and it is very hard because when he talks to you, his attention is so focused on you. And then you see that he does it to everybody, and it's hard to tell.
Oh, like sometimes like how you want to feel like special, but
Yes,
then they're like they're special to like everybody.
yes. And you know me, I love to have the attention on me. I would much rather prefer that I be the one everybody is looking at. And it's hard with Charles because you can tell that he looks at everybody that way.
And that is very challenging, but we will soldier on. I think Lace just looks at Sephrona like
We have no idea who this man is. We're just like,
No.
I guess that's how it is.
Ray barely knows this man, but like Ray's just like, yeah, he was hot.
He
I
is
mean-
canonically in the book. Charles is a tall, handsome, and charismatic, with salt and pepper hair with just enough scruff to be appealing. However, appearance isn't that important to him. No one really values what they have, do they? In parentheses.
Well, I want to be clear, which is that it's not really the fact that he's attractive that Lace is confused about. It's just that causing an existential crisis for two of her friends that is unfamiliar.
Yeah, it's like we're losing. The two of you are like on this thing. We're losing the thread here. We're like,
We're trying.
You could say that it's fraying.
You could say that it's great.
Yeah. No, Ray is just Ray isn't having an existential crisis, but Ray could believe that Aspen is having an existential crisis about their friend, because what else could they have an existential crisis about? They don't know.
I just
Like, this
really
is
love
what's in
you
front of
being
them.
like, this is what I know what's bothering you, and it's
Yeah.
that your friend is so attractive.
Yeah. But like you are just, like, it's like sad monogamy feelings. Like, I think Ray says that out loud. It's like sad monogamy feelings. Like, this has to be me.
I love that. Kian loves that phrase so much. It really is. It really is. But as Lay said, we will survive. We will, adapt, overcome.
Yes, we will overcome his attractiveness somehow.
We could talk to Bruce. Bruce does that like all the time.
Bruce knows a lot about this.
Oh, Bruce.
I haven't seen Bruce actually. Bruce is probably around.
Bruce is not at the pet park.
Sephrona has something to say, I think.
what do I know if Bruce had time today between all of the suitors to come to the festival?
No. He keeps getting trapped. Too much. He's in that circle of like politely trying to skirt around the topic of getting asked out, and he can't exactly say no, so it's excuse after excuse.
We should really
Bruce.
break Bruce out one of these days so that Bruce can live a life.
Not being hounded by suitors who can't sing.
For those playing along at home, Bruce is the most attractive shark man.
Yep.
Yeah, like he's more attractive than Ray. It's like nice.
You just we'll meet him eventually, but just a nice big whale shark with a heart of gold.
We love Bruce. We love Bruce.
Bruce is great.
Mhm. Yeah. Ray's like, we'll soldier on, and then like there's like a heavy pat on Aspen's back, like a
Thank you, dear. You're comforting as always.
Didn't somebody want to see the combats? Do we still have time for that? Yeah. Or we all took it out? What's going on here?
Ray wanted to see the combat.
I want to see what they summon. It's always nice to make new friends.
Okay. So, the four of you go to basically a field that has been set aside and marked like with a boundary so you don't cross it, and you are able to watch a combat. I'm not going to read the whole card, but the card I pulled for this combat on the Gray Sun is the Forbidden Game, which is a value of 2 notions, cats, clocks, and wind, danger, intellect, strategy, and balance. And you see another summoner, Ray, that someone by the name of Albert. They have a third eye that travels around their body, and they summon a creature that is black and white checkered, and it has pieces of some kind of game on it, and they fight and they duke it out, but it's not feral. It is not just hitting people until they go down. Every move that either of them does is so calculated. It is like watching a physical fighting game of chess in like 5 dimensions that is going on. So it's not a brawl, but it's still a lot of back and forth of spells and sometimes cutting words. It's literally like watching a strategy playing out in front of you.
That might be too highbrow for Ray.
And as the 4 of you are watching this fight die down, a familiar capybara with a cat sitting on top of it comes back, slowly ambling along. Osmond has returned, along with Shard, who has a small little bag around like his neck, like just like a small little drawstring bag.
I mean, Lace has no questions.
Aspen, Helia is hovering over Osmond, like touching and petting him, even though he doesn't feel anything or react, and just cooing over how cute he is. As Shard jumps back onto your shoulders, Lace.
Do you want me to hold the bag?
Oh, this is for you.
Oh, you got me a present?
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a good, nice kitty.
He starts purring and purring.
Oh. I will look in the bag.
There are 5 crystal inside.
This is... This is lovely.
I won the tic-tac-toe tournament.
Wow, you're so talented.
It was easy.
You're such a smart baby.
And there's a lot of purring as you scritch. And he looks around. How was everyone's day? There's a lot of silence and half bubble dancers.
It's like trying to explain it to your cat. Like,
I think Ray's noticed finally that the snow leopard is A, out of the petting zoo, and B, like sort of like watching him from the shadows, and he's just like, How did that get out of there?
Now that you've noticed it, it kind of like rubs up against you through your legs, purring.
How did you? Oh, clever. And I think he just picks it up.
Yep. To Aspen's dismay.
Truly. Aspen has run over. Osmond, my dear love of my life, did you bring me back a present?
My love?
The most important of gifts. I have terrible news. I tried to get you a friend, and this friend has chosen Ray over me. So I think that you should try to fight the friend, and is going to point to this taloned kitty that Ray is holding.
Fight?
You're quite fierce. You look absolutely lovely in your bow tie, but I think we can take the pretense off and...
No.
Aspen, Osmond. We have to fight for the things that we want, and I cannot fight this creature.
No fight. And as you're kind of having this like little argument with Osmond, you all hear a loud crack of thunder as the storm finally breaks for the day. The skies open up, and even though you hear thunder and you see lightning off in the distance, very close, flurries of snow begin to fall from the sky since you're in the tundra. And some people look up in not really surprise. This is normal weather for the tundra, far town. It's not the weirdest thing they've seen, and begin throughout their day. But as the winds begin to blow and the snow begins to make their way through the air, it moves in a way around buildings that don't exist. It is avoiding things you cannot see. And as you all watch, you see outlines of shadows and smoke, fog on the ground as cobbled streets appear. But you don't see them, you feel them. Just that atmosphere of that you are somewhere old. You are somewhere different as the storms bring something, another place, overlaid on top of Fartown. You all hear the whispering of greenery moving against each other. Ray, you hear a contented mumbling from Songbird. And Aspen, you see Helia kind of staring at this place you can't see, just barely able to tell that it exists, and her flower petals have drooped. And she lets out a wail that is immediately cut off by thunder. And we're going to end the session.
Fucking radical.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Yes.
But Helia is so perfect. Don't hurt my little baby.
I'm hurting your child. She's my child too. It's fine. Okay.
In fairness, we have a lot of children.
So many children.
You guys have children.
I don't know.
Sabrina has a boat.
Fancy for you.
You have a boat. You have 2 ghost friends. It's fine. Anyway.
Since most boats are characterized as women, does that mean Sophrona has a wife?
Do you? I'm not going to answer that question. Okay. Before we go into sign-offs, at the end of every Invisible Sun session, we all take a second to go around with our characters and answer 2 questions. 1, do you think that you have progressed your character arc? And 2, do you think you get a joy or despair based off of what happened in the session? So everybody go around to answer those 2 questions for me, and then we'll go into sign-offs. Anyone want to start?
I have my answers.
Victor.
I think Ray has made several good steps towards his character arc.
Perfect. You can add a acumen to your inventory.
Mhm. And I think he's made a new animal friend. He has made plans to make a new friend, and has supported his friends today. So I think he's had a joy.
Perfect.
I can go next.
Okay.
Aspen has definitely progressed his character arc, learning something new that is very important. And I think that even though he learned this new thing, he has so many difficult emotions right now. And then seeing Helia right at the end, that jarred him. So I would say a despair.
Perfect.
I would say Safrona has made some progress. There's people to talk to now. Couple leads. Maybe even a glimpse of where this is. Who knows? So yeah, made at least one step, which is good. And I think this is more of a, it's joy or despair, right? Yes.
Joy
so it's
or
more
despair.
of a joy. Made some progress, saw some stuff. There is a storm going on right now, which is great. This is the whole thing. So yeah, more of a joy.
All right. And Lace.
I think Lace feels like they've learned something. They don't know what it is yet, but I think it is movement in a positive direction. I think the weird Lace did not hear the scream because we do not understand invisible plant friend.
They do not exist.
So I think Shard brought her a present. She got some information. She got to see Short Ray and got a present from Tall Ray. So I think it's joy.
All right. And last but not least, we have sign-offs. Let's go in the opposite direction. Gilly, start off. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us who you are, etc., and so forth.
Hi, I'm Gilly. You can find me at Oh Look It's Gilly on most social media, except for Instagram, where I have a K at the end for reasons. You can find me chatting about this mainly recently, and also my unending battle with like trying to get through my to-read list because I have so many books and I moved recently. You don't realize how much stuff you have until you move. This is what I've discovered. And also other things. So come chat with me. This is the exciting thing that I'm doing right now, so you should come and talk about it with me.
Who was it before? I think it was Safrona? Gena?
Yeah. Again, I'm Gena. You can find me on Twitter at _Genathan. The underscore is important. It's mostly where I am these days. Yeah, that's it.
Kian.
Hi everyone, I am Kian. I have been playing Aspen tonight. You can find me on Twitter at uptight_chiffon. Mostly I'm rambling about TTRPGs or my dog. And I will be hanging out on Lost Caravan this Sunday and then again on March 1st, I believe. Maybe it's March 8th, I'm not sure. So definitely come and hang out there. But I also always like to say, definitely go follow all of these wonderful creators that I have been lucky enough to share the table with tonight, because everybody's doing really exciting things. That's me.
Hello, guys. Once again, I am Victor. You can find me at Villa Vicencio on Twitter with updates for fun things like my game that I made with Orb Witch that is in playtesting right now, which is a For the Queen style game about being a team of engineers for a ace mech pilot. And it we are like in the midst of playtesting. It's fantastic, and very fun. Also, if you want to hear more of me, but instead of being a like unassailable himbo, being kind of a sad dad, the sad dad of a D&D group, you can find me on the Mandy's channel with Miss Loss. It is a 5e adventure, and it is gearing up to be a very emotional one. We are on break in next week, but we play every week for 3 weeks on Wednesdays. And right now would be a great time to catch up since we have an off week next week. All the VODs are on YouTube, and you can hear my like flirty voice, which I was told that it was a problem, like a problem, like congratulatory problem,
A good problem.
positive. And
right.
that's me.
Hi, I'm Mary. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. This game, I will be here every Thursday, and I also play on Horizons Call, our nautical game on the channel at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Sword and Key. I also, it's not announced yet, we don't have a date, but I will be running a game of Printweaver over on Neon Lights Roleplay in the next month or two, so keep an eye on that. And channel stuff. So we actually still have a casting call open. I think that's open until the end of the month for a game of a 6-part game of Ryotama. So just check out the Twitter. I'm pretty sure that's one of the first posts if you want to run a cute, wholesome Ghibli style system until you fail a travel check and it becomes the Oregon Trail. Yeah, go do that. I think that's all I got. We are gonna go raid Maria over at Happy Capster, and we will see y'all next week, everyone. Bye.